Welcome to this week's Third Party Thursday. My name is Aaron Kirkpatrick and I'm the Information Security Officer here at Venminder. In this video we're going to cover SOC reports, scope, period, and narrative sections. So what is the SOC scope of the report? Normally there are two places where you can find the scope of the report you're reviewing. First, you'll find it within the Independent Service Auditor's Report section at the beginning of the report. There are a couple different statements you should look for. The first being, we have examined vendor names, accompanying description of the service, which will inform you of the primary focus of the audit. Second would be, another statement is, our examination did not extend to controls of the aforementioned subservice organization, products, or services, meaning that those products or services were not included within the audit scope. This statement will be the case for the large majority of reports. You'll find similar wording within the vendor's management assertion. The second place to look for the audit scope is within section 3 of the report, the narrative. The typical section heading is scope of report. This will give you more in-depth explanation of the scope. You also want to determine what type of SOC report it is, and if it's a SOC 2, what trust service principles were in scope. Types of SOC reports are covered in depth in another Third Party Thursday video titled 5 Types of Vendor SOC Reports. The next thing we want to look at is what time period was audited in the SOC report. Typical periods are January 1 through December 31st or October 1 through September 30th for 12-month audit periods. The latter's offset from January through December is because it takes 2 to 3 months to get the final report issued, and SOC reports generally follow financial statement timing. A gap or bridge letter may be requested from management, which is meant to disclose whether any control changes, deviations, or exceptions have occurred since issuing of the report. So next we're going to look at reviewing the report's narrative. The narrative tells you about the vendor, products within the scope of the audit, and how controls fit into general operations. Some vendors are much more thorough than others when creating this section. It should help answer questions such as, are the products and services you receive from this vendor covered in the SOC report you have in hand? Many vendors produce multiple SOC reports. Do you have the right one, or do you need additional reports? Do they explain how controls govern their internal operations and product or service delivery for the products or services relevant to you? And do they explain how controls provide security and potentially processing integrity, confidentiality, availability, and privacy of your data they are managing? So there we go. Now you know what the scope means and where to find it, typical audit periods of a SOC report, and a few questions to ask yourself while reviewing the narrative. Again, I'm Eric Kirkpatrick, and thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Third Party Thursday video series.